Are you keen to ensure that your sales meetings are a complete and utter disaster? If so, great. Here are 8 tips to ensure that your sales meetings go terribly and that you never get another chance to engage with that prospect again. My name's James White and I'm the UK's leading prospect conversion expert. Let's take a look at the 8 points that you can make sure you do if you ensure you never want to do business with a new prospect that you meet. So marketing have set us up with a new potential opportunity, and being honest, we don't think it's a great idea and something that we really don't care about working with this prospect. We're only going along because we actually feel it'll be a good bit of fun and a day out of the office. Here are 8 other things to do if you really want to make that meeting go terribly. The first thing is to be late. And by the way, if you're going to be late, don't even bother to ring the prospect beforehand and say, I'm actually late. Just turn up maybe 15-20 minutes late, waltz on in, and actually just look as if you don't really care about the fact that the prospects had to wait for you and you weren't even in a position to communicate with them as to when you were going to turn up. Who cares? It's only the prospect's time you're wasting. What does it matter? They're not going to really put that against you or hold that against you, are they? It's a really great way to get a meeting off to a terrible start. The second way to ensure the meeting looks terribly is to turn up with a bit of coffee or a bit of this morning's breakfast or lunch on your shirt. It gives it a terrible impression to your prospects. It makes them think, what the hell does this person look like? But who cares? You don't really want to do any business with them. Turning up, actually looking like a complete and utter mess, like you've been pulled through a bush backwards and forwards. Do you know what? It's a great way to make the prospect think, yeah, here's a person I really want to engage with and really want to do business with. They take that good care of themselves. If you don't want to do business with them, look a mess. I guarantee you it's a great way to turn the prospect off you. So another great way to really annoy your prospect is when you first start talking to them, maybe criticise the actual reception area that they're in, or maybe say how rude the receptionist was, or how it's not a great area that they're in. You know, prospects absolutely love people really giving them, bad comments about what it is that they do in their environment, especially if they're a small business owner and they've worked really hard to actually build the environment up. Nothing's going to make it a worse meeting than you telling them that it looks awful. You don't want to be giving compliments and saying how great an area is. No, don't do that. Just tell them how bad it is and how awful it is to be here and what a terrible day it is. And just focus on the bad things, because the prospect will really engage with that, and they'll make sure that they'll realise that you don't want to do business, and that's perfect for you in that scenario. So the fourth way to really ensure that you just have a terrible relationship with your prospect is to look miserable. Do you know what? Turn up and just sort of think, I'm not even sure really why I'm here. Just give that vibe that you really don't give a monkeys, and actually indicate that you can't be bothered to be there. Maybe your head's down, maybe you should look at your phone a bit, maybe you should actually start looking at your watch to sort of see when you can get out of the meeting. Really just look like you just don't care, and being honest that you just don't really want to be part of the meeting at all. I can assure you it's a great way of making the prospect go, yep, perfect, definitely don't want to work with this person. So fifth great one is a really good one to use, and that's invade their space. Do you know what? When they sit down in one area of the table, why don't you just go sit right next to them? Get really close into their space. Do you know what? It works a treat. It makes the prospect go, whoa, why don't you see if you can even get a bit of your phlegm on their face, so that when they're actually having to hear you chatter on, they're getting lots of saliva from you on them. That's going to really annoy them and really put them off you. It's going to work a treat, don't you worry. That's going to be a great way to really turn them off and make them think, get out of my face. So another great way to really get the prospect thinking, oh my gosh, when will this person leave, is to start your sort of meeting with them by talking probably for about, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes non-stop at them, telling them how great you are, how wonderful your company is, how brilliant you are, and how lucky they are to be in the same room as you. I guarantee you it's a brilliant way to make the prospect think, what the hell? Oh, I don't want to be with this person anymore. It's perfect. Just tell how great you are. You've been in business for years. You're perfect. You're the best salesperson in the world, and your company is just amazing. They should are mad not to do business with you. Works a treat. Focus on you totally for 10 minutes, and it's going to make the prospect go, I can't wait to get rid of this person. Works a treat. Try it. So point 7 is a really good way to, when you do let the prospect have a chat, is to ask them questions quite directly in a really interrogative way. Please tell me your budget. Please tell me if you are the decision maker. Please tell me when you want to make this happen. Really be really interrogative about the way you ask them. Put them on the spot. Make them think there's a big spotlight there. And when they give you an answer you don't like, just say that answer's not good enough and tell them that you want to know. It's a perfect way to make them think, who the heck am I talking to here? and I guarantee you it will help you get that bad result from the meeting you want. So point 8 is when they do also say something, make sure you interrupt them. There's nothing better than when they just start talking for you to interrupt them straight away because you exactly know what they're going to say anyway. You're a sales genius. You don't need to listen to them and hear intently to what they've got to say. You know the answers already. You're perfect as a salesperson. Make sure you interrupt them so that they don't feel they can get their words out. I guarantee you it's a perfect way to build a terrible rapport with a prospect and make sure they hate you and want you out of their building as soon as possible. So if you followed these steps by now, you're pretty much guaranteed you've made the meeting go as bad as it can do. And I can assure you, tell me how you're getting on, I'm pretty sure these 8 things you'll do will ensure it goes terribly. But just as a final bonus actually, if you really want to make it just to be 100% sure that you never ever hear from this prospect again, is as you leave the meeting, don't thank them for their time, just say to them, just tell them they were really lucky to have some time with you, and maybe say to them you'll give some thought to whether you give them a proposal back to them maybe at a certain point in time, but you're not sure because you're not really sure if you can be bothered to actually follow up on the meeting. That's a guaranteed way of making the prospect just at the end just feel, yeah, this meeting went terribly. So there you go. There's my 9 ideas on how to make sure that meeting goes terribly. You know, that meeting that marketing or another sales colleague has worked so hard to get you in place. You want to make sure it goes badly so you don't get that business. God, we don't want to be working with those people, do we? Follow the 9 steps I've given and I can assure you, you're going to end up giving a terrible impression to the prospect and really make them want to never see you ever again. Of course, I've been a little bit jokey here, but the reality is you need to think about the 9 points that I've mentioned and really see how many of those you do within the meetings you have with your prospects. The points I've mentioned are all things that are massively important when it comes to building a good rapport with prospects, and none of us want to make meetings go badly. Of course, if you have got that intention, feel free to follow the steps that I've said. But if you want to make sure that they work well and that your meetings go successfully, take a look at another of the videos I share on how to build a great rapport with your prospects. I can assure you if you do follow those steps, you will get better sales results. Hopefully you've understood the nature of what I'm trying to get across in this video. These are 9 key points to make sure you don't do with prospects. If you do, it's going to put them off you, it's going to make them consider whether they want to work with you, and it's going to make it harder for you to do business with them. My name's James White, I'm the UK's leading prospect conversion expert. I hope the video was fun, a bit interesting, a bit useful, and if you liked it, share it, please subscribe to the channel or put your comments in the section below. I'd love to know your thoughts on how you get better sales results and how I can help you achieve the sales numbers that you want.